I'll just go through a few points that we have, the key critical changes that we'll have to the flood plan coming up this week. And then after that, if there are any specific questions, we're happy to answer those. So as you can see from the National Weather Service current flood prediction, they're projecting a crest of 20.1. And at this point, the major changes we'll see due to that are additional detouring, both in Davenport, and there will be additional detouring in Bettendorf as well. The main thing is closing of River Drive. There will be a Rockingham Road detour that will come into place sometime here between Wednesday and Thursday. We're still narrowing down that timing as the forecast develops. The key message with detouring in the flood is don't try to drive through floodwaters or walk through floodwaters. It can be very dangerous. Even we don't know what's under the floodwaters once we've had, especially this extended period of flooding. There could be road washout, things like that, and we just really want people to be safe. So the other things that are major changes to our city facilities is our compost facility is inaccessible once we hit that 19.5. So if people need to drop yard waste off starting Thursday, they will have to take that yard waste to the landfill. In addition, compost materials will not be available for purchase after Wednesday. People will have to either purchase before Wednesday or wait until the flood reduces and come back after that happens. As you saw in an earlier press release, there will not be any games at Modern Woodman Park this weekend. April 4th and 5th is planned. Those have been moved to Burlington due to the issues of getting the field stocked, as well as the railroad raising the tracks there. And then also a couple of parks changes. Starting on Saturday, the River's Edge facility will be closed, Union Station closed, and we will not be having a farmer's market this weekend. So we are still having sandbags available to the public. Today and tomorrow, those will still be available at our Marquette facility, but we will be having some changes. Those will be available at Public Works likely starting Thursday, but for that specific information, people should just continue to check the website. So those were the main things that I had. If anybody has specific questions, I am happy to answer those.
Can you just kind of show the detour quickly?
Sure, yep. So we're working on a final map that we will post on the website, but as you can see here, people will need to take Rockingham Road to get around through downtown once River Drive is completely closed.
Where's that closure going to happen on the west side?
Right here, somewhere in this vicinity.
So what intersection are we at? What is that crossroad?
It's River Drive and Rockingham
Oh,
Road.
okay,
Well, that's where Rockingham starts.
Okay, yep.
Sorry.
Okay. Any other questions? Yeah.
Tell us some of the issues right now that that you're having with this flood and how it compares to other floods in the past.
So right now we're on track for the 8th highest flood. So for us, honestly, a flood anywhere in the neighborhood of 18.5 to 21.5 or so is really about the same as far as response goes, as far as setting up the HESCO barriers, pumping, things like that. So as long as the current prediction holds, we are on our 12-hour shifts with our sewers division, monitoring pumps and monitoring the flood wall. So that really won't change much. The big difference we're seeing with this flood is the duration. So we've really had that flood wall up since the second week in March, and we'll likely have it up if predictions hold through for the entire month of April. So it's just really going to be a long extended detour, and likely it'll be a pretty significant cleanup, and it'll be interesting to see what's happened to the underground infrastructure with this period of flooding.
You know, in the past, there's always been talk about the fact that why doesn't Davenport put up a flood wall and you know.
I think it's honestly just a policy decision, and it's just been a long-term, I think personal decision for the citizens and politicians in Davenport. Public Works really, we're just in support of what the community wants, And these temporary measures keep the view of the river open, keep, the riverfront open when we aren't flooded. So, and really most of what had been flooded in the past has been, mitigated using these HESCO barriers and through different flood purchases that the city's done since the 1993 event. So, really that just comes down to everyone's personal opinion.
But is that cost effective since, all the manpower that you guys use, all the, the overtime and everything, is that cost effective over since 93 up until now? There's been millions of dollars spent on battling the flood here in Davenport.
Right, and honestly, I haven't done the cost benefit analysis of a flood wall versus a single event cost such as this. The cost of putting up the HESCO wall, it takes us about 10 hours on a single shift with our streets division, obviously the cost of sand, and then we use around 3 to 6 employees to monitor those pumps on the 24/7 basis. So there is a cost associated, but I wouldn't say on any single event it definitely wouldn't hit $1 million, maybe in more the tens of thousands.
But over a number of years, over 10 years, that you're going on like 15 years that.
Yeah, I haven't done that cost analysis.
Can you repeat the main take-home messages and the changes that we're looking at happening over the next week?
Sure. So the motoring public will see changes in the detours on River Drive, both in Bettendorf and Davenport. So they probably want to monitor both cities' websites for those. In addition, our parks facilities will be closed at River's Edge. Our Union Station and the Farmers Market canceled. And our compost facility operations will have to move out to the landfill, but that will be only drop-off for yard waste. There will be nothing for purchase in this period where we're above the 19.5 level.
And we're looking at these detours going in place by about Wednesday.
Yes, that's the plan at this point.
If there's any changes to the detours going in place Wednesday, will it be posted on your webpage?
Yes, we do send out updates especially if we have anything major. We encourage people to sign up for our text alerts, email alerts, things like that to monitor changes, especially if this is a route they would normally take to work or home.
And you mentioned earlier, with the detours going in place, the biggest message that you want to get across is that you don't want people trying to navigate these roads.
Correct, yeah, really, if you see a road that's covered in water, or partially covered in water, you shouldn't walk through it, ride a bike through it, drive through it. It's just, there's unknown things under there. There's a lot of debris that happens with floods, so sticks, rocks, things like that. People could just think it's safe and it's really not.
We're seeing the farmers market close this weekend. Is it possible that it's going to continue beyond just this weekend?
We will be making those decisions, week by week. We've been having updates with Scott Community Emergency Management and the National Weather Service every Monday at 2. So we're usually using those opportunities to kind of make our plans for the upcoming week every Monday.
And as you kind of head to that crest this Sunday, just kind of what type of things are crews looking at, or just kind of checking right now just to make sure that everything is maintaining when it comes to the flood protection measures?
Correct. It's just checking our pumps, making sure that they're operating as they should be, monitoring the flood wall both on River Drive and around Modern Woodman, just to make sure that it's operating as it should be. Those are the main things. Yeah.
Can you go over, like, we know this is West Davenport, and you're cutting it off at like Highway 22 in Rockingham and 61. Where does that go? Where does that end, and how do people get, like, say, into Bettendorf? Because you got it cut off at Bridge.
Right.
Can you talk about the problems people are going to have?
Right. At this point, honestly, if you're going from one end of town to the other, the best routes would be either Locust, 53rd, or Veterans Memorial Parkway. Honestly, to avoid kind of turning around and having to take a lot of turns through neighborhoods and things like that. If you're going from one end to the other, your likely fastest route is going to probably just be detouring north to one of those. Yeah.
So from what you had, you're cutting it off at 61 and 22.
Yep.
Rockingham Road.
Yep.
And then Bridge.
Correct, and if it gets high enough, it potentially, if it hits where it's saying or even a little higher, there could potentially be a closure at Mound as well. So at that point, really, you're better off just heading north. Yeah, especially with the detours they're expecting in Bettendorf as well.
Is this gonna have an impact on the progress for the I-74 bridge?
I have not been communicated that with the DOT, so you probably would want to just double check with them. Anything else? Okay. Thank you.